you can go in and then you can figure out, I'm gonna set you up to where you can figure out which one you actually want to do. You'll basically do everything and then you'll figure out, pinpoint which one you actually want to do.
Got him.
Yo, in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is fucking perfect, son. This is perfect. And to put the icing on the cake, this son bitch was like, all right, I'm gonna give you 5 places, right? You pick the 5 places you want to do. Guess what the very first one he said was? Hawaii. Why the fuck would I care about anything you say after that? You just said Hawaii. Motherfucker, I'm from the slums of West Philly. You think I give a fuck about going to South Carolina or fucking Virginia? And you just said Hawaii? I don't give a fuck about any of that other shit.
You thinking about all that Hawaiian tail that's out there.
Dude, in my mind, I'm like, dude, when the fuck is a broke son bitch like myself gonna ever get to see Hawaii? You told me I get to live there? I get to live there. I mean, like, really live there. Man, sign me up. What you talking about?
Hey, that's the way they get everybody. I mean, Dallas the same way, right? Or we kind of all felt that way, you know, doing these talks with people, is that, you know, you come from a certain place and you're like, shit, I could leave this place to go to that place, like that big of a jump. That's like superstar status, right? Like I'm the #1 draft pick in this motherfucker. Like, I'm out.
Dog, the setup is too real, cuz. The setup, and you know what's fucking funny though? I can't even be mad at the motherfuckers. Cause once I really figured out the whole scenario, they was just doing their fucking job. Their job was to sucker stupid motherfuckers like myself who don't know better. I ain't gonna say stupid. Ignorant motherfuckers. For those of y'all don't know, ignorant means you don't know. So their job is to take ignorant motherfuckers and put them in places they have no clue of just to fill a fucking quota. So I can't be mad at them.
Yeah, they kind of take advantage of the ambition or the mindset.
See, that's the thing. I don't
want to do this thing. You're like, yeah, I want to do that.
I see, that's the thing. I can't look at it as they took advantage, because at the end of the day, I could have did my due diligence and actually did my own research and figured out what was what, how things go. And I chose not to do that. I chose to listen to another motherfucker. But it taught me something very valuable. The Navy means never again volunteer yourself. I ain't volunteered for a motherfucking thing since then.
Yeah, that's lesson 1.
Exactly.
In the book of many lessons.
No. In the book of fucked overness.
But I mean, at the end of the day, where are we fucked over? You got to be in Hawaii, you got to see all these things, you got to meet all these people, and eventually it comes back to where we are now.
See, that's the thing. Like, it's almost like, all right, take a whore for instance, right? She gets fucked constantly, but she gets paid for it. So everybody that's in the military can agree that we all get fucked, but we get great benefits while we in there. So it's like, as bad as you want to be mad, you kind of can't. Dog, a motherfucker like me got to see Australia. I got to see Singapore. I went to fucking San Diego. I went to 3 different parts of California. I lived in Hawaii. I saw Guam. I saw places that most people only dream to see. So can I really say that I got fucked? Yeah and no. I got paid to get fucked. It was what it was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of felt the same way when I was, like I said, once I got there and then I saw like the living quarters and all that stuff, I'm like, man, this is, I don't know, this seems like confinement to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, but I am here in Hawaii. I can see like the mountains and the palm trees and the beaches and all that shit there.
Hold up. Funny story, right? Matter of fact, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break down my first 24 hours on the ship. My first 24 hours on the ship was the most, I guess, weirdest and exciting experience of my fucking life. Like, the shit was like, what the fuck is going on? But all right, I'm here. It is what it is. So I get to the fucking airport, and y'all know OG big ass. This motherfucker is like fucking 9'13", like just fucking huge. He walks up on me with his fucking big ass Shaq fingers And I'm like, who the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on? He like,
with that deep ass voice.
Facts. I'm like, the fuck is this shit? So I'm like, all right, whatever. He like, all right, you with me, come on. So he scooped me, we go to the ship. So he take me down in the berthing. Now, first we get to the ship, and I don't remember that you gotta fucking salute and show your ID. I'm fucking nervous as shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I can't remember who was on the quarterdeck, but the way they was talking, like they was like on some bullshit. It's like, yo, dude, listen, like I don't know what the fuck going on. If you don't say nothing, I don't fucking know. Like, don't sit here and try to act like I'm supposed to know this shit, even though technically I was supposed to know this shit. But I mean, what the fuck? Like I'm fucking 19 and I just did a bullshit 2-week fucking course. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta include the boot camp in there. They was teaching a little bit of it, boot camp.
Man, boot camp was all about fucking folding clothes and fucking making your rack. Like that shit was bullshit if you ask. And fucking running. I ain't never run so much in my fucking life.
Oh man, yeah, all those little micro exercises, like until your arms get fucking sore.
Facts.
Oh shit.
Or how they say, make the walls sweat, motherfucker.
Oh, sure.
So I'm up there, and so we do what we do. So OG take me down. He like, all right, this gonna be your rack. I'm looking at the racks itself, and I'm like, fuck, how the fuck am I gonna do this shit? Like, I really put myself in a position to sleep on this thin ass, little ass square space. Like now I'm actually getting nervous because I'm like, I'm actually like here. Like I'm here now. Like there is no backing away at this point. Like I'm
all the way across the world.
Yeah, like I'm here. Like backing away at this point is not even an option. Like it is. Like that's when everything really sinks in. I gotta do this shit for the next 4 years of my life. You know what I mean? Like holy shit.
It is kind of a scary thought. And I said, like when talking to Dallas and stuff, it was like it kind of carries with you a little bit when you first get there. You're kind of like non-acceptant of certain things, you know what I mean? You kind of push back because you still want like, oh man, just that defiance to where like, fuck man, I got into this and I don't know how to get out of it. So I'm like, oh.
So from my perspective, right? I had just went the last 5 to 6 years of my life where I never had nobody tell me nothing. I did what I want at all times. I didn't have there was no discipline. There was no nothing. I literally woke up, did what I wanted each day, slept when I wanted, fed myself, clothed myself, did what I had to do, no responsibilities, no nothing. Now I'm in a position where I got some dude that same age as me fucking trying to treat me like I'm a fucking peon. Just because he's a fucking third player.
Yeah, just because they enrolled or signed up before you.
Yeah, so you got lucky and you signed up fucking 6 months before me. So now you're like fucking God's gift to fucking both schoolmates. Like I won't smack the shit out you. Like that shit was like, what the fuck is going on here? So in the beginning, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was rough as fuck. And for some reason, same thing like in high school, the shit carried over to the Navy. He looked like trouble. Let's just fuck with him. It's like, dude, like I'm just minding my fucking business. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me do my job and that's it. Like, why you want to fuck with me?
Yeah, I'm not that chipper person you want me to be. It just
like, dude, I don't have to fucking sit here and smile all day. Motherfucker, it's hot as shit. It's Hawaii. It's fucking 120 degrees outside. You want me to sit here and smile while I'm standing in the sun, no shade, with this thick ass coveralls on, chipping paint? Like, come on, bro.
I've been inhaling paint in the fucking paint locker all day. I'm high.
Exactly.
As shit. What the hell?
I'm high as shit and I'm hot. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, don't bother me right now. Like,
your hands are probably numb from that fucking needle gun.
Dude, listen, after you use that fucking needle gun for like a good hour, your hands is like this for like 3 hours afterwards, guys. Like, that shit sucks fucking big time. Real shit. That shit's, any boastful mates out there, y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. Don't sit here and pretend like you don't fucking know. Real shit.
That's why I was in the air conditioner, watching TV, cutting some hair, listening to some tunes. I was like, yo, you come in all sweaty and shit, like, oh, damn. You want a haircut? Oh, shit.
and that's why I was like, I want the easiest job ever, and became a fucking OS to watch radars, but I ain't realized it's cold as shit in that motherfucking room.
Yeah, jacket on all times.
Facts. And Scully.
Yeah.
Jacket and Scully. You cold as shit in that bitch.
And you know, that's one thing I forget a little bit, because, you know, when I was on the boat, or most of the time on the boat, I always knew you to be in deck. And then when you say that, this is not the first time you said it, but when you transferred over to OS, but like a lot of people, right? Dallas did it, Malby did it. But I always seem to forget that you did transfer over to OS.
Yep.
I mean, like, you're sitting in that dark ass room all the time.
And that's the thing, man. When I got lucky, man. Like, in my mind, I feel like I got lucky because, like, I felt like I was destined to continue to do what I was supposed to. I think had I continued to be a boatsman, here's the fucked up part about it. If I would have stayed in deck, I probably would still be in the Navy right now. When I really said, because I feel like when I was, deck is a family. Like, when you in deck, the boatswain mates take care of each other. When you get out of there, it becomes political. You know what I'm saying? And I think
that's some true shit right there.
I think when I became an OS, it became political, and it was too easy to say, let me protect myself versus protect this young boy who seems to be reckless and don't know no better. Whereas though with the boatswain mates, it would have been like, nah, we're not gonna let you fuck this dude over just because you can do it. And I think once I got out of there, it was like, all right, well, I didn't have nobody to say, damn, let me have your back. I ain't gonna fraud. Until I got cool with Jones, Short Dog. Till I got cool with him, he started like, yo, listen, come over here. Let me do this, do that. Stay away from this, stay away from that. Like, when I first got out of deck, it was like, man, I was just on my own. It was, I ain't have no nothing. And I was a high, I ain't gonna lie, I was a high head. I didn't give a fuck. I said what I want. I did what I want. I didn't give a fuck. It was what it was. Like, again, I went years without anybody telling me what to do. So of course I'm gonna be rebellious when I got this dude fucking a year older than me talking shit. Nigga, fuck you. Like, it was what it was.
And two, you know, for those who don't know, and I wasn't in deck, but I do know, you know, a lot of my friends, people that I hung out with, were in deck, is that the camaraderie and the power dynamic in deck is completely different, right? Like, it's not out of the norm for you to kind of get in some kind of like argument, maybe even physical spats with people that might be up above you or below you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, no one's really telling about that. You know,
man, it's
and then you get to a different division where none of that shit flies. They're snitching on you. They're, you know what I mean? All that stuff.
Facts. Like, in deck, deck was a family, man. Deck was, this is us. Like, because at the end of the day, a lot of people looked at deck as the fucking the scumbags of the ship anyway. So if we're gonna be scumbags, we might as well always all be scumbags together. Ain't no point of us worrying about nobody else. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, I hate this fucking job. Like, so I hate this job so much that I want to get away from it, instead of thinking to myself, me leaving here, I'm leaving my savior. I'm leaving my peace. I'm leaving my serenity, because I'm not thinking about the outlining factors of it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm looking for
like the political side of it, right? You just think,
see, that's the thing. Because I never paid attention to that, I put myself in that light unnecessarily.
Right.
It was what it was.
So what was the biggest, in your mind, like, which one did you like better, honestly? OS or boatswain?
They both,
like, aside from the work, say you're out there, you know, killing yourself, but there's also reward in that too, right? You're out there killing yourself with the people that's working around you, so y'all got that, you know, commonality with each other. So at the end of the day, you might argue, but ain't nobody fucking with him if you're around, and no one's fucking with you if he's around.
I honestly can't say that I like one more than the other, because they both had their pros and their cons once I really got into it. To me, I can't say either one of those pros outweigh the pros of the other. I can't say the cons outweigh the cons of the other, mainly because I literally did 2 years on each side. So I wrote out my time. The one thing I will say is, like I keep saying, when I was in deck, they had my back. When I became an OS, you was on your own. It was what it was. Like I literally got in trouble for shit where it was like, I'm in trouble for what? Whereas though if I was in deck, I already know fucking BM1, and nah, that's not gonna happen. Yo, BMC was funny as shit. But BMC wouldn't have had that shit. Like real shit. Like I literally got in trouble because I don't speak to people enough. I don't say hello enough.
Yeah, you ain't on the good list. You ain't on the brownie list. You ain't on the good list. You ain't up in here.
Exactly. Dude, I don't get paid to fuck. Dude, I just seen you 3 hours ago. Why the fuck I gotta say good morning to you again? Like I shouldn't have to say good morning every time I see you. Like we've been on this shit for the last 6 months and haven't left off this bitch. I done said good morning to your ass more than enough times already, motherfucker. Leave me the fuck alone. Secondly, I'm tired of shit. Why do you even want me to say good morning? You should be tired of hearing my fucking voice at this point. Thirdly, ain't no women on this bitch. You ain't tired of hearing a dude say good morning to you yet?
Right, we've been on watch together. We've been on watch together for the last 6 months.
Exactly. Like I don't want you to say good morning. Like what I want you to say is, here, I got this bitch to suck your dick. That's what I want to hear you say. I don't want to hear you say good morning. Fuck you, shut the fuck up, get away from me.
Hey, let me ask you a question because the name slipped me, right? So when I got there, right around early when I got there, there was a BM1. I wanted to say his name was like Lazaro or something. He was a Filipino dude. I don't know if you were there when he was there.
I don't remember Lazaro. When I got there,
he had like Uwe. Wasn't Uwe one? Was that his name?
Uwe, yeah. Uwe was a funny mother. I still talk to Uwe.
He had the hardest work ethic I've ever seen in someone in my life.
Yo, Uwe was funny as shit, man. I still talk to Uwe on Facebook from time to time, man. That's a funny motherfucker.
Oh, big ups to him then. Yeah.
I actually want to reach out to him to get him to have you sit down with him, man. That's a funny motherfucker right there, boy.
Yeah, that dude, man. Every time I saw that dude, he was working his ass off.
Yeah, Uwe didn't play, man. Uwe didn't play.
Yeah, so. And then of course Oliver, right? He took over as the first for a long time too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was the first class right before him. I can't remember his name. I'm sure he knows his name. Oliver.
BM1 Oliver was probably the weirdest, coolest person I ever seen in my fucking life. It was like he was on one hand, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But on the other hand, it was like, holy shit, you really doing that?
and he was always cool as fuck. That dude's a Viking to his core.
No, he really is. He really is. He didn't, like, the one thing I respected about him, he didn't fuck with people, nor did he try to fuck you over. Like, if you got in trouble with boats, that means you did some dumbass shit, because he overlooked everything. Like, he wasn't that dude that, oh, I know I can fuck you over, so I'm gonna just do it. Nah, like, if I see you fucking up, listen, do this, stay away from this, get away from that. And he didn't have a problem going to bat for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, whereas a lot of motherfuckers, it's like, yo, you fucked up. All right, man, you on your own. Whereas he was like, nah. Like him and BMC, I seen them go to bat for so, like, even, I give you a prime example, right? I was on watch one day with HM1. I can't remember his name. He became say again? Wood. He became HMC right before I left, right? So me and him was on watch. We was in Guam. We went to Guam for one day before we was going to sea. Me and him on watch together. The next day we went out and we did a fire drill. When we had to put on all the fucking shit, I would always, every time we put that shit on, I would always fucking get sick. So I got to the point, I was like, and the seas was fucked up. So I was like throwing up all types of shit. I was dehydrated. At that time, I wasn't like an avid water drinker either. So I would always drinking fucking sodas and juices and shit like that. I wasn't a water drinker, so I was dehydrated. So I got sick. They ended up having to give me an IV. Like, that's how fucking fucked up I was. So we was about to pull into somewhere, and come to find out I was on the Liberty restriction list. And I'm like, the fuck am I on the Liberty restriction list for? What the fuck did I do?
I've been there.
Yeah, so the motherfucker gonna say, you went out in Guam and got drunk when we wasn't supposed to be drinking. I'm like, but I was on watch with you. How the fuck did I go out and get drunk? Oh, you wasn't on watch with me. So I'm like, what? What do you mean I wasn't on watch with you? Like, I'm confused by that. You wasn't on watch with me. You
better go check the fucking
exactly. Like, so I'm talking to BMC. So BMC was like, nah, you was on actually duty that day. What do you mean you on liberty restriction because you went out and drank? I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what's going on. So literally, Boss was like, take a walk with me. I ain't never seen a motherfucker, mind you, BMC, he's still HM1 at the time. I ain't never seen a motherfucker get their ass chewed like that. And you know as I know, BMC was a funny talking motherfucker. And nah, that's not gonna happen.
And most people wouldn't know, but the BMCs carried a lot of weight.
BMC was probably the most respected chief on the ship.
I've seen a couple BMCs put the officer, what they call the officer that was in charge?
Officer on deck? Officer of the deck.
No, not officer of the deck, overall, like
captain.
Operations officer or something like that.
Yeah, ops.
Yeah. I saw a couple times on some unwraps where the BMC would just rip into him.
I watched BMC check the fucking CO, and the CO bowed down to this motherfucker like it wasn't nothing. BMC is probably the most respected motherfucker on the ship because at the end of the day, the captain gotta go to him for everything.
Right.
BMC is in control of basically everything that has to do with the ship, what's going on with the ship. So it's like
the readiness of the ship. Right?
Yeah, you gotta respect the motherfucker that's doing everything for you, getting everything ready, making sure shit right. Like you gotta respect that motherfucker, and you don't want to piss him off. Like so, it was what it was. So BMC chew HM1's ass. And guess what? I got to fucking go out on the motherfucking ship. BMC was like, mother, he on watch with you. How the fuck you gonna put him on liberty restriction? Like, how does that work? Oh, he wasn't on watch with me. Motherfucker, look, right here. You see this? Just because you forgot don't mean he wasn't right here with you.
Right, maybe you was down there. Maybe you snuck off the boat and was down there
exactly.
a little bit.
You gonna fuck over the young fella. You've been up to these ports 1,000 times. Don't fuck over a fucking 20-year-old kid just because you can. Like, cut that shit out.
What was your like your first, like you said, slums of Philly, right? You get dropped off, boom, you're in Hawaii, right? You gotta, you do got like you gotta go to work, you're being told what to do and all that bullshit. But when you get off work, you get to hit that town. What was that culture change for you? Like, what's the vibes you were getting? So I remember
the very first, like I said, the very first night I got there. First of all, OG took me to the barracks. He said, yo, I'm gonna take you to meet all the guys around your age that you probably gonna end up being cool with. So he take me to the barracks. This was when we was in the projects.
The one, as soon as you came around the turn, it was right there on the
the joints all the way on the other side of the base, the high-rise joints.
Oh.
When I first got there, we was in the project. We was in the high-rise joint. I think it was like fucking 16 floors and that shit.
Yeah, that was over by the sub base.
Yeah.
The sub side. Yeah.
Yep. So we go over there. I go in the room. It's fucking Chaffel. It's fucking Worm. It's fucking Walker. Brown. Who else? It was a bunch of motherfuckers in this room. So I come in, mind you, I don't know none of these dudes, but one thing about me, I ain't never been a bitch. So I don't give a fuck where you put me at. I'm me. It is what the fuck it is. So I walk in the room, introduce myself to everybody. Everybody's like, yo, I'm this, I'm that, So I never forget this shit. Brown, Brown was the oldest motherfucker in our little clique. And he really acted. Brown was.
Hey, when you walk in there, was he ironing his pants? Was he putting those creases in his pants with the black and mild? Talking about, hey, young fella. Hey,
Not this time. But I got 1,000 stories about that motherfucker, cuz 1,000. But what he did do,